been in Louisville for about 52 years. We were on our way to either New York or Washington, and we fell in love with Louisville. That's why we're here. I'm also a third-generation member of the National Council of Jewish Women. I think I've had every office in the organization, from the janitor to the president. And I met Susie Post through politics. Way back when we first moved here, she was organizing a campaign against the Vietnam War, and she supported Eugene McCarthy. We first moved here, that's how I met her, because I was a supporter of Eugene McCarthy. We worked together, and we'd known each other very well for, well, up until she died last year. And her favorite charity was Louisville Central Community Centers. So I went to a meet and greet in her backyard, and guess who was there? John Yarmouth. And I noticed that Congressman Yarmouth and her were like two peas in a pod. They really had fun talking to each other. So I got the idea. I wanted to salute Susie's life for what she did in the area of civil rights. A lot of white people talked about it, but Susie Post got in there, became a plaintiff to the suit to integrate our public schools. She knew that separate was not equal, and she put herself on the line to make things happen, not only to totally integrate the schools, but public housing. She started the Metropolitan Housing Coalition. I just admired her. She was getting older, she was getting frail, and I wanted to make sure that we saluted her life and at the same time helped her favorite charity, Louisville Central Community Centers. And it was so much fun working on that. I couldn't have done it without two people. Number one is my husband, Bert Emke. He helps me in everything I do, asks me questions when I come home from meetings, edits all of my writing, and really helps me in every way. The other person was Shelley Ziegert. She became my co-chair. Without Shelley, we never would have netted over $200,000 for Louisville Central Community Centers. It was one of the proudest days in my life when we were able to hand that check over to LCCC. And another one of my favorite people, Bob Sachs, is on the board. We had a lot of help from all the board members. I'm very proud of my role in that endeavor. About 5 years ago, 30 volunteers from the National Council of Jewish Women, this was after the Susie Post Toast and Roast, were invited to go in Jefferson County courts to see how they could strengthen the courts. Those 30 volunteers came out saying we need more service for people suffering from drugs and alcohol. We need it connected with the courts because that's how you identify the people. So they wrote a beautiful paper about it, and I read the paper, and it said we need to start a new court for these people and more service. Nothing happened, and nothing happened. So just in the middle of the night one night, I thought, well, all they need is money, and I'm very good at raising funds because I have helpers like David Hopp and Bob Sachs, and of course Bert Emke helping me. And so I said, let's open that court. And with the help of David Hopp, I couldn't have done it without David, we have raised about $600,000. The first 561 has started the court in Jefferson County for 3 years, and we've got over $14,000 for each of 3 other courts, one in Kenton County, one in Clay County, one in Daviess County. We're now going to the state legislature for some funding for the 3 new courts. Ours is paid for 3 years, so we'll have some facts and figures to give the state, not in this biennium, but the next one. It was a pleasure to do this. Over the first year I started this, over 400 people died of overdoses, drug overdoses in Jefferson County. Excited about this award. I was totally surprised. I did not know that I was even being considered for it. Lyman Johnson represented an educated advocate for black people, not only throughout Jefferson County, but Kentucky. He made sure that the colleges were integrated and the public schools. My eldest son, Aaron, graduated from Central High School. He was the kind of teacher that all of us need to inspire us to the future. I'm very proud. One of my grandchildren wants to be a high school teacher, following in Lyman Johnson's footsteps. I'm very proud to be associated with LCCC, and anything, I'd love to have my name linked with Dr. Johnson.
Jane always amazes me at her energy and her drive, and it pays off because she really has been very successful as a fundraiser and an advocate. And she couldn't have done it without me, of course. She was a wonderful mother, and now she's a grandma. And the issues that she's raised money for include people with mental retardation, people with mental illness, and of course more recently with the Family Recovery Court, getting mothers, mostly mothers, being able to get their kids back who've been taken away because of drug abuse or alcoholism. And I think it's going to be, I think with the help of David Hobb and some others, that they're going to be able to get state money and, like Jane said, open additional courts out in the state. She is extremely vain. She gets up and she really wants to look good, no matter what the occasion. She likes to have her picture taken, which Clinton, you've been kind enough to do today. She is very, very generous with her time and money, and she has done a lot of work as a volunteer with people who are children of alcoholics and things like that sort of thing. And she's got a big heart. She's got a very big heart, and a big ego too, so, which is good. She deserves it. Admirable and exasperating person I know. She can drive me absolutely batty, and the smartest thing I ever did was marry her.